And so we shall see. I I'll keep an open mind about it, but I've kept close enough tabs on this thing that even though it may be something that the folks in Santa Rosa County might want to go see a baseball game at a new park, I'm very concerned that the taxpayers in the city of Pensacola, and look, we already know that the downtown development organization that's allowed to take in a special tax,
right?
It's going to take everything that they take in just to make payment on this.
Well, that's what will be interesting to see. Is if they fail to come up with the revenue to pay off these bonds in coming years, where are they going to get the money from?
Right.
That's what's going to be interesting. I know at least one person who is well off, who does well, who is planning to move out of the city of Pensacola because of the taxing situation. And I don't think that person's alone. I mean, they're looking at, I can't imagine where they think this money's going to come from.
Well, the thing that surprised me, and one of the writers of the Pensacola News Journal 2 or 3 weeks ago put down what the downtown development district had planned. Well, we're going to do this, and we're going to change this road, and we're going to put this in, put this in. And while I'm reading it, I'm sitting there going, do you not know that it's going to take every penny for at least the first 10 or 12 years,
right,
just to make the payment on the bonds?
Sure, and it's a ghost town right now down there. If you go,
well, they got some nice banners and a nice fence,
but the area itself is a ghost town, and I wonder where they think people are going to filter in from if all of a sudden there's tables and chairs out there, if that even happens. Where they think these people are going to come from?
From what I'm gathering, my general feel of this thing is that with $40 million, they'll be doing good if they get the baseball field built.
Right.
And I doubt if I don't think there'll be very many public amenities for the folks going down.
Right. But we're still calling it an economic development.
Oh yeah.
Initiative.
Well, everything is economic development, Deborah. Where have you been?
Well, provided there's some source of tax dollars to be skimmed in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
That's yeah. Here's my issue with this. Is the city of Pensacola has two resources that are just sitting there, that are just they're there. They're already there. They're set up. They're usable. That's the port and the beach.
Right.
The beach, they've managed to cram as many condos as possible. I mean, you never see a hotel going up. It's all condos.
Right. It takes away the public's efforts to get there.
Exactly. They want to cram as many, I guess, retirees down there as they can. And of course, that's one, that's all the fewer tourists that are coming in spending money. That's A. And B is the port. They're spending all this money on something that at best is going to create a ballpark that's going to recirculate local dollars. I mean, how many people are going to come in from even Destin? I mean, it's going to be minimal. It's going to be, if people even go from this area, it's going to be local dollars that get recirculated through here.
But Deborah, you're just not grasping the concept. They're going to need people to sell hot dogs at $5.25 an hour.
Right.
They're going to need people to sweep up trash when the 800 people leave a baseball game. I mean, there will be many jobs created that will be able to support a family.
Yeah.
No sarcasm, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I mean, it's just amazing to me. You've got a port sitting there. You've got an empty piece of property that's already environmentally damaged, compromised.
Right.
You've got a port right there. And instead of connecting two very close already dots and saying, well, let's expand, they're doing it over in Port St. Joe. They're actually building a new port.
Expand the port.
They're expanding the Panama City port. We know that the port of Panama is the traffic is fixing to increase in coming years. Well, let's build a ballpark right next to it.
Unbelievable. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our good friend Rick Outson at the Independent Weekly, every week he typically has winners and losers.
Right.
And then towards the end of the year, he picks the yearly winners and losers. So this is from the Independent Weekly, losers. Apparently they were voted the biggest losers of 2009. Uh-oh. Once again, the stereotype for backdoor politics in Northwest Florida has proven true. It wasn't long ago the IN was writing cover story after cover story on the scandals of W.D. Childers, Willie Jr., and the rest of the problems with the Escambia County Board of Commissioners. This year, it so happens to be the Santa Rosa County Commissioners are on the hot seat. The state attorney's office began an investigation of claims that sunshine violations occurred in 2007. The accusations state that commissioners discussed county business through emails and met privately to talk about governmental matters. The incriminating documents were originally filed by Romy White, a former county employee who worked as the assistant information officer. Her complaints claim sitting commissioners W.D. Don Salter, Robert Bob Cole, and Gordon Gooden, and former commissioners Tom Stewart and John Broxson violated open meeting laws in 2007. Within the violations were illegal meetings and business trips unreported, including a trip to Honduras by Gooden to donate $6,793 in firefighting equipment to villagers. Although the Florida Sunshine Laws have been in place for years to keep public records public, incidences like these prove that many elected officials don't understand or care about the law. If WD didn't get away with it, nor will you. And of course, I sent a thank you letter to Mr. Outson.
I think that was a mistake.
What?
He doesn't mention Team Santa Rosa in that article.
Right.
Once. Team Santa Rosa committed the bulk
Absolutely.
of the violations over there. I mean, they were many, they were egregious. The state attorney came out and said they committed violations. They didn't mean to. I guess he knows what was in their minds. But
he's a mind reader.
He's a mind reader. He's a psychic, apparently. But Outson doesn't say a word about that. And instead he's focusing on something that was really, it was the lesser part of that investigation.
Oh, I agree with you. You know.
And it was all of that was unprovable. The stuff with Team Santa Rosa was clear cut. It was cut and dried.
Clearly documented.
They committed violations. And Outson doesn't even mention that.
We just had a difference of opinion. You see, I believe when you have an email that says, I want to get off of the server so it doesn't put us in a bad situation, you've done something on purpose.
I agree with you, but that was Team Santa Rosa.
But the state attorney's office didn't see it that way.
Right, exactly.
So.
Exactly, and that was really no surprise. And we're still pursuing the idea of you'd have to change the state constitution, I think, to work it where you don't have to be an attorney to be state's attorney.
Oh, right, exactly.
Because
Absolutely.
that's a problem. But Outson goes through all this stuff that was the lesser part of that investigation, and he doesn't mention the stuff with Team Santa Rosa, which is all, it's all part of this local economic development.
I would have rather he focused a little bit more on that. I agree with you, but at least he did. I love the last line. If WD didn't get away with it, nor will you. So.
Well, it just makes me question his motives.
Yeah.
It really makes me. Was he going after people he perceives maybe are not going to be able to retaliate against him? Is he going after people who, maybe there's stuff going on in Escambia that's related to the quote-unquote economic development crowd out here, and maybe he's not as interested in pursuing that for whatever reason. I don't know, but I'm mystified by the fact that this was a massive investigation into Team Santa Rosa, and he doesn't bother to mention that.
Right.
I find that very strange.
Well, speaking of economic development,
yes,
our new friends over at Florida's Great Northwest.
Oh yes, you've had a response.
Well, and just to update you, ladies and gentlemen, from the last show, you learned that we did get 2 years worth of the checkbook.
Now this is a regional organization
covering 16 counties.
Right, that we found got at least 4 million. Much of it appears to be government money in 2007.